Hey, amazing human. Thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk to you about a topic that's super near and dear to my heart, which is people pleasing. And as a recovering people pleaser, I want to give you access to a new way of being around that if this is something that you're dealing with, because I want you to be rooted in self respect versus self preservation. Because let's face it, people pleasing is something that we do out of survival and for fear of being rejected, of not being liked, rocking the boat. I'm Nando Rodriguez, performance coach to creatives, coders, and entrepreneurs who are ready to step up to their next level and stop letting self-sabotage take their next win. So buckle in, get a notebook, because this one's going to be juicy. As we get started on this video, I want to give you an example of the quintessential people pleaser. Are you ready for this? How many of you know the story of Cinderella? Yes, Cinderella was and is the ultimate people pleaser, right? And I don't necessarily want to throw her under the bus, but here's the thing. Sister girl, right, was left with stepmom and a couple of wicked stepsisters, and for fear, out of survival, she was mopping the floors, cleaning the banisters, talking to mice and rats and doing those were her only friends. She didn't want to rock the boat. She couldn't stand up for herself, right? And so your life might not be that extreme, or I don't know, maybe it is, but here's the thing. When you're inside of people pleasing, it's a survival tool. It's a survival mechanism. And the root, the underlying root of it is you think you're not worthy. You believe you don't deserve good things. And so the little things that you do have, you don't want them to go away. So you'll do whatever it takes to keep them. So in her case, right, she had a home, she had, a place to sleep, even though, I don't know, what was it, the basement or the attic? I don't know where the rats lived, but she was there. I want you to really get the idea or really understand that when you're inside of people pleasing, right? It's not even about the other person over there. It's always going to come back to here. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to upset people. You don't want people to be mad at you. And so what you keep doing is you keep lowering your standards in order to have all the things that you think are amazing, but they're really not. If there's people pleasing involved, then those things probably will go away once you start saying no. And you might be saying to yourself, but didn't things work out for Cinderella? Honey, if you think you're going to have a fairy godmother come and visit you and wave a wand and transform your life, you may be waiting a long time. But I'm not going to say it can't happen. And in the meantime, you can take what I'm about to say and put it into action and be your own fairy godmother, all right? I want to introduce you to a framework that I call the SBA. S stands for standards, B are boundaries, and A are agreements. And when you don't have SBAs, you're actually operating out of total validation, external validation, in order to find your worth, in order to have worth. And that means that as soon as that validation goes away, your worth plummets. It's like you're looking for, where'd it go? It's gone. It is gone. And when you don't have SBAs in place, three things are sure to take place. One, validation seeking. Two, you have a fear of conflict. And three, low self-worth. Those things go hand in hand. Which one is which? Because they're just so collapsed. So let's start with the S, the standards. What is a standard? Standard are the limits you place on yourself in order to protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. And it kind of goes into the quality of life that you want to create for yourself. So you might say one standard that I have is that I don't answer emails after 7 p.m., right? That's just a standard. Or I only work with clients who are fun and are coachable in my case. Or you might say, I'll only work with bosses that are excitable when it comes to social media, or when it comes to allowing me to have creative ideas and not be so micromanaged. That could be a standard that you have for yourself when it comes to your own life. Boundaries, the B, is actually the agreements or the standards you have with other people. Right? So you might say to someone you're working with, hey, I don't answer emails after 7. That's a boundary. Now, here's the thing with boundaries. you must give people the freedom to say yes or no, right? Because you don't want to enter something that you feel forced into. So with that being said, at that point, you go back to your standard. So if your boundary is, hey, client, I don't answer emails after 7. So if you need anything, I'll get back to you by tomorrow, by the next day at 10 a.m. Or you can email me, by 5:30. And if they say absolutely not, then it goes over to your standards, right? Are you choosing to work with this person? So are you lowering your standards? Are you bending them? And here's the thing. Once you start bending them, you're going to be back into that people-pleasing survival mode road that you're trying to avoid right now, that you're trying to get out of right now. And agreements are just that exchange with the other person, right? Hey, if we're going to hang out, I can't, it bothers me when you're 2 hours late. Right? So can you agree that you'll get there, on time? I'll give you like a 10-minute leeway. So these are agreements. And again, you can't force people to say yes, but then you have a choice of either continuing that relationship or not. I want you to think about it this way. Standards are what you allow, boundaries are what you control, and agreements require mutual consent. And here's the thing. For a people pleaser, this is where you guys are having anxiety right now. But that's rocking the boat. What if they don't like me? What if we can't be friends anymore? And that's where you seize the people pleasing. You're no longer seeking that outside validation. You're inside of self-respect now. I never said it was going to be easy. I said I was going to give you access to being a people pleaser in recovery. Remember, I said that. And there's hope. And I want to leave you with these 3 things. 1, start getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. Not everyone's going to agree to those boundaries that you set, or you're not going to come to a mutual agreement on some of those agreements. It's going to be okay. I guarantee you. 2, go from, I hope that they respect this, to I respect myself enough to enforce this. And 3, and the standards you're about to set, they're not too much. They're the bare requirement in order for you to thrive. Keep that in mind. Hey, leave me a comment. I want to know what's resonating with you and where you have questions about people pleasing. If you haven't taken the self-sabotage quiz, I'm putting the link in the description. Have a great week. Remember, you're only one decision away from that big breakthrough that you totally deserve. Mwah! We'll see you next week.